Previously on Pocket Survival.
The mean queens are dead to me!
Oh, Amber! What a manipulative, bratty bitch! I'll just have to stick by Bo's side through all this. I want to make her feel better.
Shadow, with the advantage, wins immunity.
It's Raine and it's Shadow. That's all I have left. And I trust Raine far more than I trust Shadow.
It does mean a lot that Summer is concerned for Bo too. I'm not gonna forget this, Summer.
It took a lot of discussion, but Katrina and I realized if we wanted our plans to work out tonight, we needed to step back and just be votes. For how much you gotta know to kick on the gas and take the driver's seat, you gotta know when to hand it off to someone else. And the latter is what we need to do to survive this game tonight.
Goodness. The last time I had power in the game like this was before the first swap. Now I have direct control. It's my say. I like that.
I must thank Lord Groudon for keeping me in the great middle position again, this late into the game.
It's like really hard to play this game and stay by my bestie's side in her time of need.
Your silver tongue won't save you tonight, Thacher.
15th Pokemon voted out, and the 5th member of our jury. Thacher, the tribe has spoken. Before we get into it, another big shout to all the VAs. Everyone put in a lot of hard work. They did an amazing job bringing these characters to life. Episode 14. There's 2 episodes left. There's this, and then there's the finale. Summer, Shadow, Diana, Raine, Bo, and Katrina. It's anyone's game. We crawl into night 32. Thacher has just been cast out of the game. After getting back from Tribal, Katrina and Raine are both excited after managing to get their way, believing they've worked out their path to the final 3 with Shadow. Shadow joins in on the celebration.
Would you look at that, darlings? Didn't take very long for me to find my way back to the top, now did it? And I have a solid final 3 to boot. Shadow and Raine are a little risky to sit at the end with, but it's better sitting in the final 3 against threats than not sitting there at all, isn't it?
Diana is comforting Bo again when Summer approaches. Diana snarkily asks if Summer is here to see them off, since they're clearly next on the chopping block. Summer says she didn't want to vote against Bo and Diana, just that she wanted to vote with Shadow. Diana argues back that Summer's constant middle flipping is gonna be the end of her sooner or later.
Who knew I wouldn't be able to trust Summer? I thought she had my back. She literally gave us the info we needed to plan last night with Thacher. And then she just voted against us. Like, what even is that? The worst part is, I still trust her more than anyone else on this damn tribe. Not counting Bo, of course. I trust her with my full heart.
Day 33. And the next reward challenge. Oh, the final 6 all stretched out across the screen now. Let's get to today's reward challenge. Mud and Thunder. Oh, it's the Loved Ones Challenge. That's crazy. Loved Ones Challenge is when the castaways are competing with their loved ones, or just to gain a chance to be with their loved ones. Castaways will compete in pairs with their loved ones for this challenge. Castaways will be running around on a large muddy field trying to form large muddy balls. They'll pass those mud balls over to their loved one, who will be throwing them at targets to try and knock them down. First castaway loved one duo to knock down all 5 of their targets wins reward. And this is one of the biggest rewards of the season. The winning duo will be flown out to a nearby 4-star resort and will get to stay overnight, food, bed, loved ones, and cover from the harsh rain. Worth playing for?
Yes!
Alright, pair up with your loved ones, we'll get this challenge started. And after a grueling battle, Diana and her loved one win reward. Diana, you get to take 2 of your fellow tribe mates and their loved ones with you. Who's coming along on your reward?
Vote for sure! I'm hoping this will help get her in a better headspace. And, somewhere to, I guess.
Thank you.
Alright, Diana, Bo, Summer, take your loved ones and head out. Enjoy your resort trip.
Fine! Be that way, Diana. I didn't need to see my loved one much longer anyway. I'll just sit back at camp, soaking in the pouring, relentless rain while you sit in some crappy motel and enjoy a dry night. Ugh, I'll make sure Shadow and Raine never get even the thought in their heads to work with you.
Diana, Bo, and Summer enjoy the hotel reward with their loved ones. Diana's father, the chief of Bo's fire station, and the leader of Summer's exploration team. Bo's loved one is concerned about Bo's quiet, upset attitude, not being like her at all, since she's usually so upbeat and vocal. Diana has to very uncomfortably share the situation that's got Bo so down.
This hotel is very nice, but I thought it would help Bo out. It's not doing anything. And having to tell someone so close to her about why she's so sad, that was really awkward. I didn't like being in that position at all.
Diana and Summer get some alone time to talk, Summer sharing just how close she is with Shadow, how tight of a bond they had. Shadow just chose to work with Katrina and Raine last tribal, but she wants to put her foot down tonight. She doesn't want to see Diana or Bo go. Diana doesn't really believe her, but Summer says that she'll show her she's telling the truth. She won't vote against them.
Something Diana said to me last night got to me. I don't like being in the middle. I joined this game wanting to ride to the end with a group. And while being in the middle is a very fortunate position, it's not how I wanted to play. I'm ready to choose a side. Diana and Bo. That's the side I want to choose. I don't want to forego my friendship with Shadow. But only 3 can reach the end. I'm still in a really hard position. Lord Groudon, please guide me in these tumultuous times.
With a trio of Raine, Katrina, and Shadow left alone at camp in the heavy rain, Katrina and Raine keep trying to get into Shadow's head. They try to plant the idea in Shadow's head that Summer is a threat that needs to be taken care of soon. That's sure they chose to work with them last tribal, but she rides the middle. She can flip at any point. She only has her interests at heart in this game.
It's clear that Shadow and Summer are very close friends. This much is obvious. We need to nip that in the bud. Get Shadow against Summer. We gotta turn on her eventually, and make him willing to do the same. I'm not risking the Final 4 being a 2v2, and either Katrina or I having to risk the fire-making challenge to reach the end.
Day 34. And the final 6. Oh my god! I thought it was an immunity challenge. The tribe gathers after having received the day's tree mail, which they have been receiving regularly throughout the season as hints for reward and immunity challenges. Today is not a hint like usual, but rather an explanation. There will be an immunity challenge tonight at night, and Tribal Council will start immediately after. right now is their time to strat. Oh shit! They gotta get on the planning now before even knowing who's immune.
Interesting. A twist to keep everyone on their toes. We have to plan without knowing who will be immune, which means our plans cannot be as concrete as they would have been. We need to pick 2 targets, with a backup in case our primary target wins immunity. That's how I see it. Not that hard to handle.
The scrambling starts fairly quickly. Katrina, Raine, and Shadow discuss their plan, agreeing it has to be Bo or Diana tonight. Raine likes the idea of dropping Summer at Final 5, but using her for one last vote tonight. The group agrees that Bo is the primary target. If she wins immunity, Diana is the backup.
I had to forego my plans last tribal just to stay in, but with some power, I'd like to see Bo taken out preferably. She's normally a big threat, but right now she's weak, easy to strike back at. We can take advantage of this. I have personal beef with Diana, sure, but Bo is still easily the bigger threat among them.
Summer pledges her allegiance to the duo, remarking that they will make it to the end together. Diana hesitantly decides to trust Summer, and share their plan. Raine is the primary target due to his sheer strength, and Katrina is the backup target.
With Bo out of commission, Raine is open to go on an immunity tear. If he loses tonight, then, he's gotta go. There aren't many other strong Mons here, so he just may keep winning challenges. That's no good. We can't keep him in as their side's challenge beast.
Finally, Shadow and Summer meet up alone, both discussing what they want to do and happy that neither of them have targets on their backs. Shadow is still firmly in the camp of sticking with Katrina and Raine, but now Summer is firmly in the camp of sticking with Bo and Diana. It's a disagreement that they struggle to work out.
Shadow and I have been close friends since very early on, so it's hard to stand up against his decision. But I'm not budging either. I like Bo and Diana more than I like Katrina and Raine, and I don't want to see any of them voted out tonight. I've come to accept that if Shadow doesn't want to be a part of my journey, then so be it. Lord Groudon would be proud of my inner strength.
The tribe gathers their belongings and leaves for the challenge.
Summer has been a very important ally to me throughout this game, but I need to think about myself here. I can't win against Bo. I can't let Bo make it to the end. If Summer wants that, then we can't work together, because I can't let that happen.
It's time for the Day 34 Immunity Challenge, or should I say, Night 34. This is right before Tribal Council. Let's get to tonight's Immunity Challenge. The Murkrow Hunt. Everyone will have to listen to an important lore story regarding the Island of the Beasts. Once the story is finished, each castaway will be given a torch and will have to run through paths in the dark forest, reaching various tables at the end with questions having to do with the lore story they were told. Each question has 3 answers, but only one will be correct. To choose an answer, open an urn representing the answer and take a wrapped up symbol puck out. They'll then race back here to their station, which will have a local art piece with 5 holes to fill in it with the pucks. Here they will unwrap their symbol puck. If the symbol is made of wood, they answered incorrectly, and they'll have to go back and answer again. If the symbol is made of grass, the answer is right and it can fit into its proper place on the art piece. First castaway to fill in all 5 holes from their art piece with the 5 brass symbols win immunity. Safe tonight, guaranteed a 1 in 5 shot at winning this game, guaranteed a spot on the finale episode. Without further ado, because it is time to listen to the island's lore. Hundreds of years ago, this island went by the name Kuniku and was divided in 4. The outer edges were inhabited by 3 tribes of Pokemon. The Rodonians, made up of mostly electric Pokemon, the Savarans, made up of mostly water-type Pokemon, and the Arayans, made up of mostly fire Pokemon. At the uninhabited center was Brass Mountain. The 3 tribes mostly stuck firmly to their own territories, save for trading or special occasions. Despite the tribes having mostly different beliefs, they all shared in one custom, a tradition brought down from the original iterations of the tribes. On the first day of each new season, each tribe would choose a representative. The 3 chosen Mons would meet at the base of Brass Mountain and hike up the formidable mountain. Tribes continued this tradition as they believed if the 3 chosen Mons to ascend the mountain were deemed worthy by the legends above, they would be granted the forms of gods to protect the island and its inhabitants. Even in times of tribulation, such as wars between the tribes, they still continued this tradition. It was during the most brutal war, the Third War, that the final 3 Mons would be chosen. Rai, a Rodanian Jolteon, Sui, a Savarian Vaporeon, and Enti, an Arayan Flareon. Upon scaling to the top of Brass Mountain, these 3 offerings were deemed worthy. They took the forms of Raikou, Suicune, and Entei, and descended home once more. The Third War concluded instantly, and the tribes unified to form one large civilization under the banner of the 3 beasts. Despite many invasion attempts between then and now, this island has stood the test of time under the protection of the legendary beasts, and the civilization they united has prospered and expanded to further islands within the region, with the idea to cultivate a modern-day society off of this island so it may remain as the legendary beasts preferred. Raikou, Suicune, and Entei remain on the Island of the Beasts, protecting their home forevermore. That's the story of the Island of the Beasts. Alright, let's get this challenge back underway! And after a grueling battle, tonight's immunity winner is Raine! Raine has won immunity, cannot be voted out at tonight's Tribal Council. Earns his spot in the Final 5. Earns his spot in the finale episode.
That's what I'm talking about. Finally, I win individual immunity. I'm not going home tonight, that's for damn sure. Final 5 bound. Now tonight is about keeping Katrina and Shadow in. Bo, you're done.
Rovari back for another Tribal Council. After tonight, only 5 will remain. Let's start with the tree mail the tribe received today. Summer, the tribe reads tree mail. What runs through your head?
Oh, I was fine! Lord Groudon kept me strong in that nerve-wracking moment. My fellow tribe mates were very nervous, though. The strategy talking started pretty much immediately.
Katrina, what made that moment nerve-wracking in a nutshell?
The uncertainty, darling. We usually know who's safe, so we can work around that. But today, we had to make plans without knowing who was off limits. That made every plan less concrete, hinging on certain Mons winning or losing immunity.
Yeah, but our plan's still pretty solid despite all that.
You winning immunity made tonight very easy.
That's right. In the end, Raine ended up winning immunity. This late into the game, that necklace has got to feel nice.
Hell yeah! There are only so many times left to vote someone out, and I'm a big hulking threat. Having one less chance to take me down's gotta be making my enemies sweat.
Trust me when I say we're just fine, weirdo.
Shadow, Raine points out that he's a big hulking threat, but realistically, all of you got to the final 6. All of you are big threats at this point, right?
Well, certainly yes, but, some threats are more threatening than others. Players that have played a lot or have won a lot of challenges, those players have a lot of winner equity. It's hard to be fine with taking them to the end.
I'd know a thing or two about being a threat, darling.
Same right here.
Bo, last tribal, you weren't talking. How are you holding up now?
She still isn't really talking.
I see. Diana, you're caught in this tough spot in the game. On one end, your best friend is hurting. On the other, you gotta keep playing. How are you reacting to all this?
By putting my all in both. Bo and I have been friends since day one. I, couldn't bear to see her leave. During the first swap, I made the mistake of ignoring loyalty. That made me lose all the power I had. But I'm not gonna make that mistake again. Bo and I have been loyal to each other all game, and that won't be changing.
Well said. Groudon would be proud.
Can loyalty alone keep players alive in this game? Let's find out. It is time to vote. Diana, you're up first.
I hope you come through for us, Summer.
The only other challenge threat is a sad, mopey mess. Like hell, I'm gonna ignore this opportunity.
If anybody has a hidden immunity item and would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. Alright, once the votes are read, the decision is final. Pokemon voted out will be asked to leave the Tribal Council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote. Bo. That's one vote, Bo. Katrina. That's one vote, Bo. One vote, Katrina. Katrina. That's two votes, Katrina. One vote, Bo. Bo. That's two votes, Katrina. Two votes, Bo. Katrina. That's three votes, Katrina. Two votes, Bo. One vote left. The 16th Pokemon voted out and the 6th member of our jury. Katrina. You're gonna have to bring me your torch.
It seems I've grown too big for the spotlight, darlings. My time here is over. Good luck to all of you.
Katrina. The tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. You have reached the final 5, a monumental occasion for all of you. This is where the game has no room for error. Screw up, and you lose out on $1 million. Grab your torches, head back to camp. Good night.
I may look calm, but that's just to keep up appearances. I'm fuming inside right now. They actually voted me out. Me! Of all Pokemon! They sided with the depressed dog and the pile of greens she calls a friend! All for me!
That is a 4-2 vote. That is right. Shadow voted with his friend Summer.